What's up to Lion Talk Live? So we love you too, buddy.
What's going on, guys? It is Aiden Hutchinson.
What's up, man? It's your boy Amon-Ra St. Brown.
What's up, everybody? It's Calvin Johnson Jr. here, a.k.a. Megatron, a.k.a. First Ballot.
What's going on, Coach Dan at Lions Talk Live and the Duke Crew. This is Ball Hawk Ifeatu Melifonwu of the Detroit Lions. Everybody make sure you help support the YouTube channel Lions Talk Live by clicking that like and subscribe button. Let's get it and go Detroit.
Greetings and salutations to everyone out there in YouTube land. This is Dan Skipper, offensive weapon for the Detroit Lions. Make sure you all help support Lions Talk Live and Coach Dan by clicking on that like and subscribe button. Everybody, woo!
I love nothing more than watching Lions Talk Live every morning. Woo!
All right, well, greetings and salutations to everybody out there in YouTube land. I am your host once again, Dan Thornton, and I want to thank you all for joining me here today. It's basically 12:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and about 15, 20 minutes ago, maybe a little bit longer than I don't really know, to be fair, I started getting some information. I do want to thank my brother Tim. I do want to thank a couple people over in Detroit-based media that, hey, we all had some guests why the Lions had brought in an outsider to take the offensive coordinator role. Well, we're probably starting to figure out a whole lot more of that real quick. Let's bring you up to speed. As of just several days ago, it seemed like an odd situation when John Morton was brought in over from Denver to talk to the Detroit Lions about their offensive coordinator spot. Most of us just thought, hey, doing their due diligence, bringing in a couple people, testing the waters, seeing what's going on. But you know what? There might have been a whole lot more to it than any of us anticipated. It would appear that most people throughout the Lions fandom thought last year, let alone this offseason, that I always kill his last name, but Tanner Ekstrand was going to be the next OC, that he had been groomed by Ben Johnson himself these last 2 years to take over and assume the position. But you know what? It appears there might have been a whole lot more to this story than any of us realize. Aaron Glenn, when he departed Detroit, said he was not going to be targeting Detroit Lions players, coaches, etc. That may not be very accurate. As you probably may or may not know, it is starting to break even now, like I said, in the last half hour or so. The Detroit Lions passing coordinator, Ekstrand, has been contacted by the Jets to join them as their new OC. He has been in conversations with them for the last 4 days, assuming Aaron Glenn would get the position to take it. It also appears Ekstrand was trying to use this to his advantage, trying to bid MCDC versus Aaron Glenn, who's going to pay the most. I get it. You're a coach. You're doing what's best for your family. Let's go ahead and bring over Hutch Jr. to talk about this very topic. Hutch Jr., hey, as somebody who's coached a long time, I can say this. And when coaches take off, they take new jobs. They often take people they're familiar with, especially if they think that person can help their career. What do you think about this developing story that Ekstrand not only appears to be going to the Jets, but he talked to the Jets, then came back to MCDC and said, I need this or I'm out of here?
Yeah, it's really weird, right? Because, Ben Johnson left about a week ago, right? Monday. I don't know if a lot of people caught it, but it sounds like Ben Johnson knew Monday he was leaving Monday morning to the Bears. And I thought it was really weird that we didn't promote Ekstrand quicker than we did. Now that this is coming out, this makes more sense. I think he kind of maybe was kind of playing both sides to see where he would go and get the biggest payday. I didn't expect Glenn, of all people, to now target our position coaches like he said he wasn't going to, but now he's targeting some of our key free agents. If most people don't know, he has very stated that he's going after Ifeatu Melifonwu and Derek Barnes to add to this Jets team. So this is going to be a weird offseason where these players are now going to have to make up their mind, would they rather play for Aaron Glenn or Dan Campbell. It kind of sucks because not only have they built this culture in Detroit, but now this culture is now split into three pieces. You have Ben Johnson going to the Bears, Aaron Glenn going to the Jets, and now you have MCDC in Detroit. So yeah, it's kind of weird that back to Ekstrand, it sounds like he wasn't promoted right away, kind of forcing our hand of, hey, we got to find somebody that knows this offense. I like the hire. I know a lot of people aren't really kind of happy about Morton into Detroit, but people need to go back and look at what he's done with what he's had anyone knows, in 2017 with the Jets, he was very limited on what he had at the Jets.
Right.
He was here with us in 2022, so he knows the culture. He knows what we have. And if anyone looks at what he's done with the Broncos, he has some schemes up his sleeve. If you go watch some of those play action schemes that he created with Bo Nix, granted, Bo Nix is a little more athletic than what Jared Goff is, but he can do things with what we have as our weapons as far as St. Brown and things like that. So, yeah, it's going to be very interesting what Extra does here, whether he stays or goes. I predict that he's probably going to be gone. I don't see him sticking around now with us hiring Morton. So it just sucks because, I think that was kind of where everyone thought we were going. And now this has now developed to where maybe he was already in talks with Glenn before Glenn left, like, hey, I'll go with you to the Jets. Just let me figure out what I can do here. And it sounds like, now we've hired Morton. Now I think Extra's just kind of out the door.
Well, and let's Scooby-Doo this. It seems like the Lions had basically all but named Ekstrand as the OC, been developing him for 2 seasons to assume the role. I think Dan Campbell himself understood Ben Johnson was going to be leaving. Same with Kelvin Shepard. Aaron Glenn came out and said he was grooming him to become the defense coordinator because he knew his time in Detroit at some point more than likely was going to end. But now that we've got this, is it just where do the Lions go from here? Do you think they made the right move hiring Morton so quickly, not trying to get into a bidding war from Ekstrand, or maybe they just didn't feel like he was loyal enough to the brand and the franchise that is the Detroit Lions?
Yeah, it's kind of hard to tell, right? I guess we'll never know really where Ekstrand stand. I for sure thought both our OC and DC were going to be in-house hires. Right. That's kind of what we were portrayed as after both of these guys were going to leave. So I don't know the full aspect and the whole conversations behind the scene with Ekstrand and Dan Campbell and these guys. I assume that Ekstrand was ready to be the OC. Maybe Dan Campbell felt like, hey, maybe we'll bring in Morton, see what, kind of maybe have you guys duel this thing and see what's going on. I don't know. Maybe they just didn't feel like he was ready, and maybe that's why they went with the hire of Morton, with the guy that knows his offense. He's kind of, he's worked under some really brilliant OC coaches.
Yes.
So maybe they just felt like that was a safer hire and go that way. But it'll be very interesting to see if Extract does truly go or he stays.
Well, and I know was it AC 480T had it, and that's why they locked up Shepard. I do think there's a lot to it. I think Aaron Glenn, if the Lions wouldn't have given him the position, Aaron Glenn probably, and I get it probably would have been more of a title than an actual position, because I think we all understand Glenn probably would have been calling the plays, maybe just having Shepard in there in some regards. But not going to make this the longest video ever. I am working on another story tied to Aaron Glenn and potentially doing the Lions dirty. You already kind of brought up Iffy and Barnes. Maybe a few others might be jumping ship. I'm waiting for some confirmation on a story, so I'll get it over to you guys later today or tomorrow, whenever I can get it confirmed. So, Hutch Jr., why don't you go ahead and give yourself a shout out to everybody where to find you, etc. Hey, real quick, Duke Crew or everybody watching, hit that subscribe button, hit the thumbs up button. We literally need one more sub to hit 13,000. So if you can help out with that, that would be awesome.
Yeah, as always, you can find me on here with Dan and the Duke Crew. You guys are amazing, man. Keep doing what you're doing. You can find me on Twitter, the one and only Hutch Jr. And then, as always, you can find me on cmvradio.com. That's, cmvradio.com.
All right, we'll take care. Thank you always, Hutch Jr. for jumping on. Guys, to get other news today, I'll get it over to you as quick as possible, assuming I'm not in coaching duties myself. Take care. Enjoy the rest of your day. Do something kind for somebody you don't know. See you on the next Lions Talk Live. Take care, all.
Happy trail.